And happy Friday, everyone, and welcome to Safe at Home here tonight on FS1. Got a little baseball for you coming up in the next half hour, and hopefully we could be a little bit of a distraction what's going on right now. We hope you continue to be safe and healthy, and thank you, obviously, to all of our healthcare workers and grocery workers, delivery people that are putting themselves out there in a real way. And hopefully you come hang with us and put a smile on your face for a half hour. So welcome to the show. You know our guys. We got the Hall of Famer, the Big Hurt, Frank Thomas is here. A-Rod, Alex Rodriguez is here. And as usual, our insider, Ken Rosenthal, joins us as well. I'm Kevin Burkhardt. And why don't we start out with some news? And Kenny, we'll start here with you. And I know that, every day in this country is a fluid situation, so we don't know anything just yet. But ideas are being floated about, like the one about baseball playing exclusively in Arizona to kind of quarantine, keep everything together. It's one idea. What do you think about it, and what's the latest on it?
The latest is that there's no latest, Kevin. There really hasn't been any further discussion on it beyond one meeting between the union and MLB that took place earlier this week. It was less than an hour in time. So I don't know that it's really developed in any meaningful fashion, but it is an interesting plan. And the way you have to look at it, in my opinion, is that if this is the only path going forward, 30 teams at a centralized location in Arizona, quarantined essentially, then baseball has to consider it. And what is interesting about it is that there are government agencies where some officials are on board with this plan already. They believe it can be accomplished safely. Now, obviously, that's open to debate. And also, in a situation like we're in, where we really don't know how things are going week to week, how things might turn, it's really difficult to predict what might happen. But the pros for this are, if this is the only path to go forward, well, then it is a zero-sum game, this or nothing. And you'd rather have baseball in some fashion than nothing. From a financial perspective, you have to look at it the same way. Right now, there's no revenue in the sport. Players are getting their $170 million lump sum to divide among 1,200, and that's it. If you can get some revenue from television contracts, other advanced media, and players can get paid in some fashion, positive. Finally, and this is an intriguing thing because baseball has served this role in the past, a restorative role for the country. And this could be a way for baseball to serve as a model for social distancing and all the things we've discussed, players sitting 6 feet apart from each other in the stands, a model not just for the country in that sense, but also economically, a way to reignite the economy step by step. Baseball would be perhaps a starting point. So those are the positives. There are some negatives as well, and we can discuss them.
Hey, I like any idea that gets baseball back, and obviously, if there's no fans, we as TV partners would have a huge part in getting that out so everyone can watch it. My one question is this, and I know I can't wait to hear what Frank and Alex have about this. It's about the heat. I get all the stadiums that are there. I get Chase Field. You could obviously use, which is indoors. That's no problem. But if you're going to use all these spring training facilities, it's 110 in Arizona in the summer. So I'm guessing just super early or late games, or has that even been bandied about yet?
It's been bandied about, Kevin, but there are no good answers.
Yeah.
And you're absolutely right. It's a factor. And Joe Madden made the point to me that one issue with the Heat is not simply the playing of the games, but getting ready for games and practicing and all of the things that you would do normally. It's not easy to accomplish when it is 110, 120 outside. So that's one problem. Another problem, obviously, is the risk. It's a question. Now, you can say that the players would largely be safe because they are younger guys in excellent physical condition, but this bubble, this protective bubble, would consist of thousands of people, not just the players, but the hotel workers, security guards, all the people who would be involved, television people. And beyond that, there would be in that mix some vulnerable people, older managers, for instance, perhaps some umpires who are older and maybe not in the top physical condition. So you cannot accomplish something like this with zero risk, and that is something that they'd have to consider as well. And the other drawback, the thing that's been discussed, at least publicly, is the question of whether players could be separated from their families for a length of time that could extend as long as 4.5, 5 months, right? Well, that is under discussion. And initially it was reported that separation would take place, but that's not necessarily the case. There are ways in which the families, too, could be brought into the protective bubble, but these are all things that would need to be resolved. not going to be easy. And a lot is going to depend on going forward, just what the country looks like and what the state of Arizona is comfortable with, what the government agencies are comfortable with from a federal standpoint. A lot going on here.
Yeah, there's obviously a lot here, but I just like the fact that the idea is creative, and I think we all want to be safe, number one, and get through this together. But sports is a big healer, and Alex, I'd love to get your thoughts. What do you like about the idea? I mean, yeah, Kenny said there's obviously things to be worked out, but what do you like about this thought, Al, about potentially doing it all in the Phoenix area?
I mean, first of all, Kevin, realizing that this is about our society and then baseball, right? And people's health is the single most important thing. Assuming that there's testing and the health concern is out of the way. I love everything about, like you, playing baseball, promoting baseball, being a leader in this community that just wants to be entertained, wants to smile, wants to take their minds and hearts away from all the challenges that you have now. I will say this from a player's perspective. I think unless you're playing in Diamondbacks home ballpark, Major League Baseball should consider starting games at 9 a.m. in the morning or 9 o'clock at night, because it's a lot to ask for a player and umpires to play in the middle of the day in the summer, as you mentioned, Kevin, when it's 110, 115 degrees, because now you're opening up another set of health problems that could be concerning.
Frank, how about you?
I like the idea that I heard today with Bob Nightingale talking to Tony La Russa about splitting the camps back to Florida, Arizona, where everyone's comfortable. And Alex is right. Health is first. And that's very key. But there's going to be a lot of night games. There's not going to be many day games because the heat in Arizona and Florida in the summertime is very drastic. So I like the idea. I think it'll be a big win for the TV contracts. Baseball all day, give the fans at home something to watch all day long that's current and live. But I think Major League Baseball could do a great job of keeping guys quarantined and keep everyone healthy. So, but I am worried about the heat, just like the other two guys are. But I could see a schedule that is beneficial to the nighttime and it can help everyone.
Well, let's switch to this. Let's switch to some actual baseball. And I know guys are doing different things to kind of stay warm and keep in good physical shape. Aroldis Chapman, a little different than I've seen. This is Chappie is jacked. Look at him.
Oh, boy. I tell you what, he looks like a boxer. I know one of his best friends is a boxer, so he's learned a lot from him, I'm sure. But you wouldn't want to see this guy with a strong left punch like that in the ring.
He is loaded, man.
Oh my God!
I was impressed.
That's insane, right there. Well, I look. Obviously, the Yankees want him to pitch, and we know he's going to do that. But how do you see this AL East, Alex? I mean, the Yankees with Chapman and with the big signing of Cole, and are they still the favorite in your eyes?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Red Sox are down and out a little bit with Betts in LA and Sale having Tommy John. Very easy to pick the Yankees, of course, but I'm going to go with the two T's. And that's Tampa Bay and Toronto. Tampa Bay is interesting. Here's a franchise that may not have an A-plus player, but has a conveyor belt of A- and B-plus players with absolutely no C's, D's, or F, obviously. And what's interesting about them, they do such a great job of bringing up new players. 10 consecutive years with a pitcher making an all-star game. It just tells you how balanced they've been for so long.
I think you hit the nail on the head. It's going to come down with the Yankees and Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, not the greatest offense, but their pitching is dominant. Now you bring in Brendan McKay with the rest of that three-headed monster. I mean, they can shut you down a week at a time with their starting pitcher, and they're scrappy enough to score some runs. So I think the thorn in the side of the Yankees will be Tampa Bay. I think Boston might be a little lost this year. I don't really know what's going on with that organization, but they're not far off from the next couple of years. But I do see Tampa Bay and the Yankees getting after this year once this thing gets started.
Fascinating. And even though Tampa Bay was obviously a playoff team last year, it is fascinating to have that conversation with you two guys and not really include the Red Sox. It's really, it's kind of a different year going into it anyway. We'll see how it actually holds up. That's only the AL East. We got a lot more to do here on the show. In fact, why don't we get some opinions when we come back from an all-star third baseman? I think we're going to do that. Dodgers' Justin Turner will join us on the other side of Save at Home. Look forward to chatting with him. He's got some cool ideas on maybe how to change things up when baseball does come back to play. We'll talk to JT next. Be back.
The young core that the Dodgers have moving forward, to see these guys go and take the field each and every night, they have a chance to be electric all the time.
Does that have enough? You bet it does. Unbelievable. An 8th home run for the Dodgers. Bellinger swings. Hit the wall. Grand slam.
Another belly bomb. How about that?
Dodgers win. They find a way to do it again.
Man, it just feels good watching baseball videos. I mean, we're just salivating at the chance to get it back. We welcome you back to the show, Safe at Home tonight, and we're very fortunate to be joined by Dodgers All-Star third baseman Justin Turner, who's doing what we're all doing, just trying to be safe and chilling right now. So, JT, thanks a lot for coming on, man. It's great to see you, and I hope you and your family are safe and healthy right now. And let's just get into it and start here. You know, we had Kenny on in the first segment, and you know, one of the ideas, look, everybody is talking about different ideas of how we're going to do a season, right? And we don't totally know yet. But the idea that came out the other day about getting everybody together in Arizona because everything's close together, you can kind of keep it under wraps. You know, it's one thought. What is your take on that? And do you think something like that could work?
Yeah, obviously, I think it's very early in the idea phase of how we can get this thing done, and there'll be a lot of things that have to happen logistically to make that happen. But I'm at the point where I'm like, I don't care. Like, put me in a hotel room for 6 months. I just want to go play baseball and get this thing going. Figure out a way to play as many games as we can and get a postseason in. I mean, we're excited about our team. We're excited. We were ready to go in spring training, and then all this stuff happened. And obviously, you know, we want everyone to be safe, and we don't want to go forward with putting ourselves at risk. But, you know, when that day comes, I don't care where I have to go. I'm ready to go play.
I love it. And, you know, one of the things that came out from you, it certainly came out here in the LA Times and you know, I'm sure people across the country saw it, but if they didn't, you know, with this comes a new set of ideas and talking, okay, well, it's going to be different for all of us. And so it's kind of a time to experiment. And you had an idea, which, you know, I know a lot of the purists would be like, oh, it's any idea is terrible, but I liked it, you know, and your suggestion was, hey, go into extra innings, play the 10th inning, and if you're still tied, let's go to a home run derby. Now, I don't know if this has anything to do with you had a career-high 27 home runs last year, DT, but take us through the idea and what you're thinking there.
Listen, there's a few guys on MLB radio, I won't mention their names, but they made it very clear that I'd be the 6th or 7th guy on my roster. It has nothing to do with me hitting homers, I can promise you that. But yeah, to answer your point about the purists, this isn't a normal baseball season, so different stuff's going to happen. This isn't a suggestion to be a change for baseball forever. This year's going to be a one-off. There's going to be a lot of weird things that happen to get this season in. So, you know, instead of in a shortened season where we're going to have to play double headers and pitchers aren't going to be able to be stretched out properly in spring training, they've already gotten stretched out a little bit and then had to shut back down, and then they're going to have to get stretched out again. So I think the most important thing in this season is to try to protect our arms as best as we can. And the best way to do that is to ensure that we're not playing 15, 16 inning games, because that's going to that's going to destroy a team and their pitching staff if we're doing that. And then you got to play a doubleheader the next day. So why not? Why not have fun? Why not you play one extra inning, then you have a home run derby, you take 3 hitters from each team. There's different ways you can spin it. I didn't really go into details on how you want to do it. Maybe, you know, you can only use one guy a week or something like that. So everyone on the roster has to get used, and you know, it'll give the fans a reason to stick around if they're allowed to. Hopefully, if they're allowed to come watch us play. And you know, I'm a big hockey fan, and that's something I enjoy going to a hockey game. Is I don't enjoy the overtime, even though now it's 3-on-3 and it's pretty fun and exciting. But I want to see those shootouts. And so I think it would be create the same buzz for a baseball game.
Al, why don't you take it, man?
Yeah. So JT, I know that you're a workout freak and you love going to the batting cage and your routine. And I know how hard you work in the off season. Coronavirus, give us a day in the life of JT. Right now you'd be playing a regular season game. Obviously you're not. You're home with your wife and your family. What's a day look like?
Yeah. You know, we get up in the morning and make breakfast together, which isn't different than in the normal season. We do that every day anyway. And then we'll head upstairs and get our workout in, whatever Brandon McDaniel, our strength coach, sends me, do our workout. take the dogs out for a couple walks a day. We bought bikes to go ride through the neighborhood and go on bike rides. Although it's been raining all week, so we haven't been able to do that. And then Easton has sent me some equipment, tee, a toss net, and a bag of baseballs. So I'll go in the backyard. I don't have a lot of space because I'm in LA, but I don't have the backyard you have, Alex. I take live baby in the backyard, but
You're welcome anytime. Just bring your mask.
I get on the tee and take some swings in the backyard, and and then it's figure out what's for dinner. So passing the time as best as we can.
Well, JT, I just want to say, you guys have been unbelievable the last 3 years. You're the deepest roster in baseball. You're betting favorites to win it all this year. Do you think this time off with a short schedule is going to help the Dodgers or hurt the Dodgers because you guys are so deep? Do you think there's enough time for all these superstars to get enough at bats if we're playing 7-inning doubleheaders and things of that sort?
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be like. I do know that every team's going to be in the same boat, though. So it's not like any one team's going to have an advantage. But if it comes down to an expanded roster and needing depth to get through this season, I like our chances better than anyone else because Andrew and our front office, not just this year but every year, do an incredible job of not only putting together a 25, I guess this year a 26-man roster, but they put together a really good 40-man roster. So we're loaded with talent, young guys, experience, and whenever they drop that date, I think all 40 guys will be ready to roll.
Well, listen, Justin, it's awesome for you to take the time to come on, and you're the best. Stay safe, stay healthy, and man, I mean, it's great to see you here, but I certainly hope I'm talking to you at like the batting cage really soon. So thanks, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. You guys stay safe too.
Best of luck.
Yeah,
all right,
Take care, JT.
Dodgers All-Star third baseman Justin Turner kind enough come on safe at home as we roll on. Garrett Cole, we know he got the big money in the offseason. See what he's doing to kind of keep his days busy. We'll go that. We'll get your social media questions when we come back. So what are players doing to pass the time and stay in good shape for when baseball comes back? Well, you could be Bryce Harper and just pull a rack of weights in the streets in Vegas. Frank, have you seen him out your window by chance?
No, not at all, but I know he's chomping at the bit with the Nationals winning the World Series last year. And he was having a strong spring before we had the break with the coronavirus. So I'm looking for big things whenever we start playing with Bryce Harper this year.
I love it. I love it. It's fun. Harper getting his work in. And so is Garrett Cole. And by the way, I think in this video, Amy Cole is getting more work in. She's got some gasoline. Alex, check this out.
I like it. She's spinning the ball. She's very athletic. I love it.
Well, listen, I mean, she's a great softball player. Her brother happens to play shortstop for the Giants. There are some good genes there. So that's a fun little workout for those two. Listen, anything you can do to stay in good shape, unlike me who's just eating cheese balls every day, you got to do what you got to do. These things happen. Let's get some social media questions for you guys here. And this is a good way to go. What's good? I really like this first question. And it comes from Daniel. Here it is. Who will be the first to win MVP between Tatis Jr., Soto, or Acuna Jr.? Frank, why don't we start with you? That's a good one.
I think we got to go with Juan Soto, what he did in the World Series last year. This guy's a primetime player, and the world has forgotten. And the voters, the writers, they know how great he is. If he goes out and have a great season, I think he'll be the first one to win one.
You know what? Tatis may be the most talented one in San Diego. It's harder to win with a team that's not winning. I say Soto already won the World Championship. My call is Acuna. He's got a fantastic team in Atlanta, and boy, is he looks like a young Hank Aaron.
I mean, it's a you could argue this back and forth. I mean, think about Tatis. The year he was hurt. If he wasn't hurt, his numbers would have been even more insane, and his defense is incredible. Let's move on. Social media, you guys had a bunch of questions for us, which was awesome. Who was the better trash talker, Big Hurt or A-Rod? Alex, go for it.
I would probably say Joey Cora. No, but he was the king. And Joey would trash talk to Frank and Ty. Yes. I have to say Frank because he was a veteran. I had so much respect for him. I wouldn't be able to trash talk with him.
Well, I didn't say much over there. I just laughed and giggled with the guys. But when it came to trash talking, I would do it after the game, not doing the 9 innings between. I mean the 9 outs or 9 innings, whatever we're playing out there. I would never do that. So I had too much respect for other players, and it was about winning baseball games. I didn't want to stir or poke the bear as much as possible.
It's funny, Frank, because now you're doing television. You trash talk quite a bit, as a matter of fact.
Oh, yeah. You got that right. We got to do something to pass the time. You know what I mean? Keep these guys on their toes, KB.
I know it. I love it. All right, let's continue. Social media question number 3. This is from Robert. With the season on hold, big question. What are you guys doing in your spare time? Alex, what are you doing? Tell us the day in the life of A-Rod right now is what?
Not much. I've been doing a lot of Zoom calls. I try to break a sweat at least once every other day and get a little workout in. I just got a pre-core machine is in my garage, so I hope I get to use it. And I've been going through like Netflix and a bunch of shows, and that's it. Spending time with the family and staying out of the way here, staying away from the girls and not trying to get in trouble here at home.
Pretty simple. Starbucks run in the morning, hang out with the family all day, Netflix at night. I've watched so many shows over the last month that I might going to run out of selection here soon. But I'm sure Netflix is loving this because everyone's watching Netflix, and through the coronavirus, they're becoming extremely rich.
Frank, you're supposed to promote Fox. That's the network that we're on.
Well, I'm just saying, Fox, we got to get us some more shows because I think we need another baseball show. Wink, wink.
Hey.
But I'm going to tell you right now, the Netflix thing is working out. So that's what I'm having fun with right now.
KB, I miss baseball so much. I've watched the home run Kirk Gibson game, the classic, like 3 times. I've watched the 86 Mets, and these classic games are unbelievable. What's interesting is, every player from both sides. It was like, that's the way we grew up. We got to get Major League Baseball today to get like it was in the past. We got to reveal all these great young talented players we have in today's game.
Man, I know it. We got to run. We are out of our time. Everybody, guys, great to see you. Everybody stay safe. Thanks for watching Save at Home. We'll see you next week on FS1.